Hey, good afternoon. This is Matthias. I'm the German with a gun, and you're listening to the Immigrant Gun Owner. I have with me here today two guests. We're going to talk a little bit about immigrants in the gun community, and I want to explain to you what the goal is of our show here today. So, some of you may know me already. I am the owner and, I guess, president, chief, instructor, whatever you want to call me, of San Diego Firearms School. I'm also a member of San Diego County Gun Owners, a board member actually. I'm an NRA member. I'm a club member at South Bay Rod and Gun Club. There's a lot of things I'm members of, USCCA, Second Amendment Foundation, what have you. I'm involved in the gun community. And as an immigrant, whenever I go to any type of event, a city council meeting or a conference or a convention, anything like that, excuse me. Come here. Lucky is, of course, with me as always. He's being a little bit mischievous here. So whenever I'm doing anything like that, any activity, involvement in the gun community, I usually notice a very homogenous crowd. It's a bunch of old white men, mostly. But from being an instructor and from my involvement in other organizations and going to the club, I know that's not representative of the gun community. There are a lot of immigrants, a lot of people of color who exercise their Second Amendment rights. But they mostly do so outside of the public eye, at home, in private, on the range, behind closed doors mostly. This podcast aims to address those kind of people and encourage everyone who's in the gun community but not really participating to come out of the woodworks. I want to show everybody the diverse gun community with the focus on immigrants, like myself. I'm from Germany, because we all did not grow up exercising our Second Amendment rights, because most other countries, no other country has a Second Amendment like the United States does. And I wonder if some people exercise at home and out of the public eye because their mindset is that it's frowned upon, it's not allowed where they come from, or because they just don't know the gun community. So I want to talk about those things, and I'll have guests on, subject matter experts and friends, people I meet or people I hear about that I think have an interesting story to tell. And so today I have two guests, and my first guest is Juan. We met because he reached out to me. He needed to take a gun safety course, and we'll talk about the reason why in a minute. Juan is currently at Bird Tattoo, and also the owner of, I can't say this, Mictlan Art Gallery in Yuma, Arizona. He's from Los Angeles originally, but we met here in San Diego, and we want to talk about his story. I think his story is pretty interesting. He had a conflict with the law at some point, but he'll tell his own story. I always tend to get worked up about when I hear about those kind of injustices that happened to him. So, welcome to the show, Juan. What's up?
Thank you for having me.
So, I don't know how long ago this was now. I want to say almost 2 years at this point, right?
October.
Yeah.
2 years ago.
So you hit me up saying, "Hey, I need to take this firearm safety course."
Yeah, the judge ordered it.
And that's the first question I always ask when somebody calls me about anything other than marksmanship or whatever. And if it's a gun safety course, I always ask, "Hey, is this court ordered?"
Yes.
Because 9 out of 10 times it's court ordered.
Definitely.
So tell us about why the judge ordered you to take this class. Lucky, come here.
So I went off. At the time, I was in a motorcycle club, and I went out. I was having a little bit of issues, and I just wanted to ride out at night and just clear my head, forgetting that I had a 22 in my vest.
So you carried that at home? You had it on you in the house?
I had it in there because my little niece was around. I took it in there to hide it, and I wrapped it up and I threw it in the back of a box, just so she won't get to it, so she won't see it. So that couple of days passed, and I was having issues. I was stressed out over stuff here and there, and then I decided, you know what, I'm gonna go for a ride, clear my head, and I put it on, and I took off. And
you forgot you had it.
I forgot I had it. Completely forgot I had it. I don't check pockets when I take off. I just take off.
Yeah.
And as I reached El Cajon Boulevard right there on the La Mesa, something like that, within that area. I noticed a cop circling, and they kept looking at me. So I'm like, oh, they're gonna pull me over. So I said, okay, if they're gonna pull me over, I'm gonna pull over, park my bike on the road, and it was at night. So I parked to the side, and I started walking away from it just to sit on a bench park, and they swarmed me. Went out, and I didn't even know what I did. They using a BS excuse saying, oh, this is a gang activity park, so we're just checking everybody. And I was like, well, I haven't done anything, so what's the reason for this? And they didn't say anything. They just grabbed me and started patting me down. They didn't tell me why I got stopped. Didn't tell me what was the reason. No, nothing. They would just grab me, and they told me to put my hands behind my back, and they started patting me. And when they patted me, they felt it. And I was that, and that's when I remember, like, oh man. I told them, well, you feel what it is, so you know exactly what that is. And they cuffed me. Took the documents, took pictures, took the serial number, started questioning me. And because I had a motorcycle cut on, they confiscated my telephone. They confiscated my helmet. They took me to the Arrow Drive police station where they were trying to be extra friendly with me, trying to get me to divulge information. But I know better. And as they were getting all the information, taking pictures of my tattoos. I mean, obviously I'm going to have tattoos. I'm a tattoo artist. So they were taking pictures of all the tattoos that I have. And after all that, they took me to the interrogation room, and a female detective came in with a little booklet. But I was cordial with the cops. And then before I led up to the police station, I was like having a casual conversation. I wasn't being mean. I wasn't being disrespectful or anything. I was just having a cordial conversation with them. I wasn't divulging information. But if they wanted to talk about bikes, I just talked about bikes just to be nice, you know. Just yeah. I know the DA and the judge, whoever, they look at those videos, the body cam footage, so they want to see how I acted, if I acted accordingly, or was I being an a-hole to them. So I was very courteous to them. I was cordial. I was nice. I was polite. And then they took me into the station, and I overheard them say, "Yeah, well, he's very talkative, so you might get something out of him." I was like, okay. So they put me to the interrogation room, and the female detective came in with a booklet. Talking about, so we would like to talk about anything. I said, the only thing I want to talk about is I want to get booked into downtown, and I want to talk to my lawyer. That's the only person I'm talking to. So she slammed her little note real hard and said, get him out of here. I said, yeah, get me out of here, man, so I could post bail and I could get out and then figure everything out after this. And it was a mix-up in the jail. I stayed there an extra day longer than I had to.
What?
Yeah. So they were training this new guy to do fingerprints. And for some reason, he messed up mine. So I went with the group into the booking. The same group I went. 2 groups later, I got out. I went in Friday night. I got out Sunday into Monday morning.
Huh.
Like around 2 in the morning. Monday morning, 2 in the morning.
Damn.
I got out. That's not the end of the story. It got worse.
I know. You told me something about when your brother came to pick you up, right?
So my brother came to pick me up. And he didn't pay attention, or they didn't send him the mail to renew his registration. So as he picked me up, I told him, "Hey, can you go take me to pick up my motorcycle? Anybody could just pick it up rolling on a truck and take it. I don't want my bike stolen." He's like, "Sure." Well, my brother's also an armed security guard. He has all his permits, everything to carry a firearm, and he had left it in a trunk. But because he had the same last name as I did when they pulled him over, and they saw me get out of the car, go in the trunk, grab my helmet, and then jump on my bike, and we took off. They stopped him, and I in my head I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be a quick little harassment, little traffic ticket. He'll be let go, and then we're gonna go straight home." And I sat as they pulled him over. I sat a block away, and I could see him through the mirror that lights were still there. So I waited. I looked over, and I was like, "Man, it's taking longer than a normal traffic, stop." So I busted a U-turn. Because as I was sitting, the cops came by, and they scoped me out, and then they busted a U-turn. So I thought it was safe to bust a U-turn there. But as I busted a U-turn, they told me, "You busted an illegal U-turn," and they gave me a ticket on top of everything else, right? And I parked right next to when my brother got pulled over. I parked inside the parking lot, and they come and talk to him. I say, "I don't want to talk to you guys, man. I have nothing to say to you guys." And they're like, "Well, we have to pat you down." I go, "For what?" He goes,
"Again?"
Yeah, I go, "For what?" I go, I just got out of jail. I came to pick up my bike. We don't know that. So they again, they harassed me again. And I guess my brother told me later on that they made a comment. He goes, he's gonna fight us. You know, they were already assuming I was gonna do something illegal. Oh, he's gonna fight us. I bet you has a weapon. And you know, just like dumb stuff like that. And at that, I wasn't cordial at that point anymore. At that point anymore, I was already upset, and I told him, you know what, man, just get it over with and get the fuck out of my face.
Yeah.
And that happened. I had to go home. I had to get some money and post bail for my brother, and that's where it all started. You know?
Yeah, and then we met.
And then yeah, that's when I got him out. I got him out on bail, and we went to court, and that's when the court ordered the training class, and we're here now, you know.
And I remember getting super worked up about that story
Yeah.
because there's so many injustices that happened
Yeah.
between Friday and Sunday
Yeah.
that I got, I mean, you know, I got offended on your behalf.
Yeah, I was too.
And you know what? Say what you want. If anybody came across you in the street and wanted to stereotype you, I mean, you look a little bit like a gang member.
Yeah, of course.
You
I grew
know,
up in the
but-
streets of LA, and that's how
Yeah.
we used to dress.
You know, and when I tell the story, I always say, hey, this is what happened to me. Imagine this really brown, tatted up Mexican biker, and, you know, he's a good guy, but he got pulled over for being a brown Mexican tatted biker.
That's exactly why I got pulled over.
Exactly. And, you know, I wish you would have done it like a civil...
I
law,
tried.
a civil rights violation, you know?
I tried, but nobody wanted to. At the time, I already spent all the money on the legal because at the time my brother didn't have that money, so I had to like put in $4,000 for his half and another for mine to start the lawyer going.
Yeah, I don't know what the statute of limitations is on that sort of stuff. I have no idea. But
Yeah, I have no idea either, but
try it.
I mean, I could still look into it, but yeah, I mean, I felt like it was stereotyping, and they had no reason to pull me. I wasn't drunk, I wasn't loud, I wasn't stumbling, so I was sober, and I just forgot it was in my pocket.
So to circle back at the beginning of your story, you're from LA.
Yeah,
Your parents are from Mexico.
yeah, they're from Mexico.
But you're born here.
Yeah,
Okay, so did your parents ever get any guns?
yeah. The reason why I got into guns was my father.
Through your parents?
Yeah, my father.
Okay.
My father took me shooting at a young age, and he always had one of the old school revolvers. You know, the snub nose, like the detective. He loves those, you know, old school movies. So he always had a little snub nose that he loved as a home protection.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he taught me how to shoot. That's how I got into guns.
And did your father ever tell you any stories about before they came to America?
Yeah, all the time.
As it relates to firearms?
Yes,
and
all the
stuff?
time. This is sometimes certain towns will get into it. And he's the one that told me, yeah, if you leave a magazine in the sun, it increases the velocity and you can shoot further. He was telling me, I mean, old school tricks that they know.
I don't know if that's really a thing.
You know, well, actually, I saw an episode of in History Channel where a Canadian sniper put his 50 cal rounds in the sun, let it get hot, and then when he shot even farther.
I mean, if you're in Canada and he put this gun, you know, if it's like
Oh, he wasn't.
50
He
below.
was a Canadian soldier, but he did it in Afghanistan.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I watched it. So when he told me that story, I didn't believe him. And then when I heard that when I saw that on History Channel, like, well, maybe there might be some truth to this.
Maybe.
Maybe.
I'd have to fact check that. I don't know if that's
for
really
sure.
a thing.
I don't know if it is, but if he said it, then it
Yeah.
popped out later on History Channel, and I was like, maybe there's some truth to this, you know.
If anybody knows anything about this, post it in the comments. I'd really love to know if that's true or not.
Yeah, so he told me, you know, stuff like that. He taught me how to shoot with the rifle I learned how to shoot with him was a 22 two-fed with the 15 rounds stuff. That was the first. That's the first one I shot, and I'm still partial to. I still love 22s, regardless of what everybody says. But I still love 22s.
Nice.
Yeah,
Very
it
good.
reminds me of my childhood with my father.
So, your dad had just handguns,
He had handguns. He had a rifle.
a rifle. Did you have? Do you know if he has a license to carry?
No, he doesn't. He doesn't.
Okay.
No, he doesn't. He just had it for home protection at the time.
So let me ask you then, when it comes to exercising your Second Amendment rights at home or observing your father do it, was he ever involved with a gun club, or did he just own it to hopefully not need it?
At the time that he purchased that farm was when we were still living in LA, and he owned a business, and the business, well, LA is crazy. So he owned it for protection from any like theft, robbery, and stuff like that.
Were you in LA during the riots?
Yes, I was.
How was that?
It was crazy. It was crazy. Yeah, it was. It's a lot of chaos. The sky turned red, and buildings were just burning left and right, and people were just going crazy. And I do remember that the Koreans were protecting their businesses with firearms, going on the roof and shit, and they did a great job of it.
Yeah,
so they did deter the looters from entering their business when they were in the roof shooting.
I'm reaching out to some people. Maybe I can get somebody on the show. If if that's you and you want to be on the show and talk about your experience, hit us up. I'll give you all the contacts at the end. Did anything happen to your dad's business? What's his business?
At the time, he owned a recycling business.
Okay.
Yeah. So
anything happened there?
No, nothing happened there.
Nothing great to loot in the recycling business.
No. Yeah, just other than aluminums and bottles and stuff. But he always had a ginormous wad of cash from because he has to pay the people out when they drop off their stuff. But he got that firearm to protect himself from getting robbed. And I always used to be with him.
If you ever had to use it?
He never had to use it. But he had it just in case. You know how they say, it's best to have it and not need it, and to need it and not have it. Yeah. So he always had it on him. He says, if anybody try to rob us, man, we got to defend it. This is how we pay the bills. And I understood that. But my dad was not a violent person. He didn't just go around waving it around or try to shoot people. He just had it just in case he needed it.
Yeah, like most gun owners don't.
Yeah. He's just quiet about it. Never know he had it on him. Mm-hmm. He just, go about his business. But he never had that I could recall, he never pulled it out on anybody.
That's a nightmare. I never want to have to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, just drawing your gun and you point it at somebody, that's assault. You're going to have to shoot it. So that's in California. That's not a situation you ever want to be in.
No, of course not. And that's another thing about when I went to San Diego County Jail. I talked to a lot of the guys because there's nothing else to do other than wait.
The other inmates, you mean?
Yeah. I don't know inmates. Like it's just
or whatever you want to call them.
Violators or whatever you want to call them. But
I don't know the terminology.
But I talked to a lot of them, and the one story that kind of got me, and it shows how messed up California law is. As I was in there, and I was talking to this guy, a young kid. He looked like clean cut. He looked like a military. And so I was talking. I said, "What are you in for?" He goes, "Well, there was 4 guys trying to break into my house. I guess he lived in downtown San Diego." And he said, "There's 4 guys trying to break into my house. As his wife was holding the door shut, she shattered her wrist because they were kicking it in, and he shot." And he hit one of them, was blood everywhere. He got arrested for that, for discharging his firearm in the city limits. He got charged, they didn't, which is ass backwards to me.
Yeah, that's usually how that goes. If you go to jail, you get arrested, your gun is gone, at least temporarily, and then you have to prove that you're innocent. Yeah,
but I mean,
if you get a good lawyer, they'll bust you out, but
But his wife broke his wrist. When our court day was there, everybody's court day was almost the same, so I got to see some people over again. And you could see her; she was wrapped up because her wrist was busted, and he was in his uniform.
See, if the door wasn't all the way shut and they were trying to kick in the door at the point that this other guy was hit, if he was halfway or partially across the threshold, your defense attorney might have a good case there.
Yeah.
But I don't know the case, so I don't really
I guess
want to
they're
comment
young.
on that.
I guess they're young and they panic, so they don't want anybody coming into it. I don't know if they had kids or anything.
Yeah,
so
it's a castle doctrine type of thing. I don't know the ins and outs of the case, so it's hard to say.
Yeah, exactly. And you don't know what their mindset or what they're thinking about. Maybe my family, my kids, something, everybody wants to keep the threat outside. Mm-hmm. So I understand the situation, but I just think it was just backwards that he got in trouble for defending his family.
Yeah. That's too bad about California, San Diego in particular.
Yeah. They're extremely prejudiced against my case. Yeah, they wanted to throw the book at me.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it said...
again, look at you.
Yeah.
If anybody is prejudiced, they're going to pick you out and start picking on you because, you fit the stereotype.
Right.
Yeah.
But...
I'm not saying change your looks. Don't
change
your looks.
No, never. No, what I'm saying is just that because of how I look,
right,
and the group I was involved with, the club, they automatically just.
But your club is a family only, right?
Yeah,
it's just you and your family.
Yeah.
It's not one of those Hells Angels type of thing.
It's not a 1%er club.
No,
it wasn't a 1%er club. There's a difference, but to them it doesn't matter. As long as it's patches and motorcycles, they don't care.
Yeah, I think if you're talking to Mike Schwartz, San Diego County Gun Owners, there's a case that he mentioned on their radio shows. Gun Owners Radio, which, by the way, they were nice enough to let us use the studio. You probably recognize the funny, black and blue. So shout out to Gun Owners Radio. Thank you, Rich, for letting us use the space. We'll probably be here more often, so you'll see the space again. Hey, everybody knows Lucky. So, yeah, that's an interesting story. We'll get back to a little bit about your experience, your dad's experience growing up with immigrant parents. But let me switch over real quick here to my buddy Tony. Or you go by Tony, right? Anthony?
Occasionally, yeah.
Yeah. Really? Have I been saying this wrong this whole time? You prefer Anthony?
No, it's either or, whatever's more
Yeah, because I've been saying
comfortable,
Tony.
I don't
If,
correct
hey, if you want
people.
me to call you, Santa Claus, I'll do it.
No. No, I don't correct
Anthony.
people.
Let's say Anthony. Anthony is a first-generation American, just like yourself. So you grew up over here, but your mother's from Mexico. You and your entire family have a long military and police history.
We do.
You served. You have your own business. You teach guard cards. You're a firearms instructor and CCW. And we met because you took a class with me getting NRA certified to become then an instructor later, correct?
Yes, I did.
Right, I remember that correctly. That was also about 2 years ago already at this point, huh?
About 2, maybe 3 years ago.
Yeah, and then you came back one more time for the personal protection inside the home.
Inside the home. Yeah.
That's right. So we've done some classes together, and you have a similar background as a first generation American.
Yep.
So tell us then how, when, where, and why you got involved with firearms, and what the private firearm ownership history is in your family.
Well, I first got into firearms because of my step-grandfather. He immigrated to Mexico from Cuba during the Castro regime. He was in the Cuban military for a little bit as well. And kind of like his ideology when it comes to politics and gun ownership and government. Obviously, I got raised by him during my childhood, and it stuck. He owned a couple firearms illegally in Mexico at the time, and we would shoot them on holidays and whatnot, and he got in trouble with the law for that, stuff like that. And then I enlisted when I was 18, fresh out of high school, joined the Army as an infantryman, did 2 deployments during my small stint in the Army, got out, and everything just kind of stuck with me from the Army, the discipline, the marksmanship stuff, de-escalation and stuff like that I picked up overseas. And I just went with it. I ran with it, got my college degree a couple years after in criminal justice with emphasis in policing, and went into the instructor field maybe 4 or 5 years ago after I was approached by a couple guys in the field like, hey, you're pretty good at talking people down and using your firearm at the range. You should really consider, because you've helped people out. And that's when I went into it. So everything from there just kind of escalated. I started with the NRA stuff with you, then took a couple USCCA classes and decided to go the law enforcement instructor route. So I did a bunch of post training courses, became a post instructor, thanks to Promoted PD that helped me with the de-escalation and baton courses, and took a class up north in Santa Clara with TAC Fire, and they certified me as a post instructor. So I'll be able to teach law enforcement somewhere down the line. And then, of course, the rules that came out during the summer regarding CCW instructors, how at one point it was just DOJ, very limited as to who can do this and that. And luckily I fell into that category and became a vendor for the county. And I've been teaching firearms for 5 years, but officially for about 1.5 years now.
Yeah.
Under my own banner. So
Nice.
Thank you.
Congrats. Good job.
Thanks.
I remember how that was for me. I didn't really know what I was doing. I went online, got a business certificate,
Yeah.
and I had the subject matter knowledge, but I didn't know how to start this. So I got NRA certified, and there I was.
Yeah, that process was a journey. So
Yeah, there's still a few things I haven't really understood yet
yeah.
when it comes to dealing with government agencies and getting licenses, and it's you need a degree almost to navigate all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, and the degrees really help when teaching classes, because I'll get specific questions regarding certain penal codes or case law, and getting your education is key to like really knowing most of your stuff. Not all of it, because there's some stuff that pops up
Yeah.
that I just kind of question all the time. and there's obvious injustice like Juan, that whole
Right.
thing, I would have sued in a heartbeat. It just doesn't sound right, and it doesn't sit well with me at all.
Yeah. That's also tricky to navigate. Me, I wouldn't even know how to file a lawsuit. I don't even know how to file a lawsuit.
That's where I'm at right now.
You need a lawyer for that, an attorney, and anybody listening who is an attorney that wants to get involved in that and that feels the same injustice as I do when I hear stories like that, hit us up. I'll pass it on. But so, what was gun ownership like at home for you?
Gun ownership, well, growing up, they were locked up all the time. We didn't get a chance to like use them or even look at them until the holiday season or if we had things planned out. Now that I'm older, obviously, I have a variety of firearms because teaching, it's like you just can't own one certain style of firearm because I can host a class and I usually carry a Glock. These students aren't coming in with Glocks. They're coming in with SIGs, Rugers, a bunch of other stuff that I've never even heard of or handled. So gun ownership has just taken a different step where I have to educate myself and others on different platforms.
Yeah.
So it's been an adventure, but gun ownership at home, or 24/7 because I'm usually carrying 24/7.
No, I mean like when you were a kid.
Oh, when I was a kid.
Yeah, at home.
Oh
when
yeah,
you were
no,
a kid.
they were locked up. Like guns in general, they were part of our life, but
Did you know that your parents or your mother was a gun owner?
she didn't become a gun owner until maybe 8-9 years ago when we convinced her, like, hey mom, you should really get something to defend yourself in the home.
Okay. And
With-
you have a stepdad?
No, it was
No.
just my mom raising
Just your
us.
mom.
Yeah.
Okay.
My mom and 4 boys. So, so we convinced her. The big thing that convinced her was, even now it's still an issue, where she was living at the time, the response time for a priority 1 911 call was, I think it's like 33 minutes right now for the city of San Diego. Not saying like, hey, if it's like an active DV, they're not going to show up in 2 minutes or anything like that. But still, we know those seconds matter.
That's not seconds.
Yeah, it's no, those seconds, moments, whatever you want to define it, matter. And that was like the defining moment for her. So we got her behind a pistol, and now she's pretty, surgical with it. So, same with my brothers. They all own. They're always, strapped, ready to go in case something happens. But gun ownership in our family runs pretty deep.
And are you the driving force behind that?
No, they made those decisions on their own.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I just tell them the truth and what's going on, the statistics, and
out of the 4, where do you rank? Are you the oldest, the middle?
middle.
So,
Yeah.
Which, like, second, third?
Second. I have an older brother that lives in New York, and we all know those laws up there are pretty tough, but he still manages them. My little brother's here in San Diego, another one in Louisiana.
Okay.
So,
I want to read you something here that I found. An excerpt from the Mexican Constitution. Believe it or not, the Mexican Constitution has a section in there about the right to keep and bear arms. It says here, the inhabitants of the United Mexican States have the right to possess arms within their domicile for their safety and legitimate defense, except those forbidden by federal law, and those meaning the arms, reserved for the exclusive use of the military, militia, Air Force, and National Guard. Federal law shall provide in what cases, conditions, and under what requirements, and in which places inhabitants shall be authorized to bear arms. And then it goes a little further. The Mexican Constitution of 1857 first included the right to be armed. In its first version, the right was defined in similar terms as the Second Amendment of the United States Constitution. But then a new constitution in 1917 revised the right, stating that its utilization must be in line with local police regulations. So Germany, there was an attempt in Germany at one point to provide gun rights to the people, also modeled on the Second Amendment of the United States. So you heard all those exceptions in Mexico. It doesn't go as far as over here, but it is enshrined in the Constitution. You can keep a gun at home. That's allowed, apparently, but only at home. And then whatever police regulations you have to follow those. So we are still far, far away from something like that. But if it was up to certain politicians, they'd model ours currently after the Mexican.
Neither
But-
wants that.
I mean, I didn't know that. I thought America was the only country in the world, but there's a handful of countries where they have a very, very limited amount of gun rights enshrined in their constitution.
When I went to go visit, they had them. They use it for hunting.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I had a conversation with one of my uncles. Just had to sit down with him and talk to him. I said, "Man, so what do you think about how come you guys can't own, larger calibers like in America?" And he just told me something that the guy doesn't watch any news or TV. He's more like a mountain dude, like goes in the field, takes care of stuff like that. He's not into politics or anything like that. And he said something that made a lot of sense to me. He says, the reason why we can't own large calibers like the military or like the government because they're afraid we're gonna revolt against them, and that made a lot of sense too. It's like they're trying to do over here.
I mean, you have, right? Mexico has.
Yes,
revolted just like America has.
So they keep them confined with with limited amount of like ammunition and calibers. So the smaller calibers, because like I said, I'm partial to 22s because that's why my dad taught me how to shoot in Mexico. And most of these like 22s and like 410s and stuff. They're not anything bigger than that, and it's just illegal.
So when you guys think back, both of you, at gun ownership at home when you were little, not just in your home, but other family members, if you've had them over here, was that ever like, were people open about that, or was that always like behind closed doors and people only brought them out when they went to the range, or was there
in my
ever
neighborhood?
discussion?
Everybody had them.
But I mean, sure, but was it like out in the open?
No, it was only used when needed. I do recall.
We only want to talk about the legal ones, right?
Yeah, I mean, no. I do recall a story. Like as a kid, I do remember one of the neighbors. I heard gunshots in the distance as a kid, and then I see the two neighbors run back, and I asked them what happened. And then I was with my father, and my dad goes, "Yeah, what happened?" And he goes, "Well, they tried to rob us. Some gang members tried to pull out my 380 and shoot at the air to scare them away." So, I mean, I guess they packed. I guess not legally, but at least they packed. They had a gun with them at all times. Because Koreatown at the time in the 90s and 2000s, it was brutal. Brutal, like gang violence left and right. If you weren't carrying some kind of weapon, then you're sitting duck.
I hear San Diego used to be a gang turf too. It's not like that anymore, but I've been only here for 10 years.
Okay.
But I've heard that over here there used to be a lot of gang activity. Is that right? Do you know anything about that?
Yeah, it used to be. It used to be. I mean, it's still there, but it's not how it used to be in the 90s or in the 2000s. These kids nowadays, you don't see them, walking around wearing colors like they used to when we were growing up, or even in like the earlier 80s. It's different. It's a different culture now. So the gang activity is still there, but it's in broad daylight. These kids just blend in. It's not how it used to be. It's just a different form of violence now.
Interesting. Nothing that I can speak to. I'm not involved in that. I don't know that from personal experience. And in Germany, obviously, that was not a thing where I grew up. In the big city, maybe, but that's different type of gangs. That's the Lebanese and, the Lebanese mafia and that kind of stuff. But yeah. Did you know this about the Mexican Constitution?
I'm not well educated on that part. What I do know is, growing up, they weren't really legal in Mexico. And, I spent a lot of time in Tijuana in the 90s, going back and forth early into the early 2000s, living there during the summer, coming here during school time. So I'm not really well educated on firearms when it comes to Mexico, but what I do know is extensive restrictions on them, and how there's maybe a handful of places where you can actually purchase them. And even then, the ones that you can legally purchase are nothing compared to what you can get here in California. The most restrictions. We still have more power, more the ability to purchase calibers that they can't purchase down there. Like you just said, the 22s and the 380s. Over here, it's 9mm, 40s, 45, 357s, whatever. Down there, it's different. It's like semi-autos. If you're not law enforcement or military, you're gonna end up buying a revolver from the government.
So you being a instructor and firearms being your business and stuff, do you ever get nervous and paranoid every time you cross the border going to TJ that there might be like a stray, like a bullet that fell out somewhere and is under the seat or something, and they give you a hard time?
Yes, all the time.
All the time, huh?
All the time. Yeah. The very rare times that I do cross, I completely strip my car down. I mean, granted, I'm usually in control of the ammunition that I take to and from my office or from courses or for my day job as well. I make sure everything is inside their packs and ready to go. But you never know. You might have like an empty shell casing in your hoodie or in my pocket that I forget, and they get alerted as I'm crossing. Then I got some explaining to do.
When I go to the range a lot to shoot with my students or, for myself, whatever. Almost every time I clean out my car, well, not so much anymore, actually, but because with the dog now, I vacuum the car every day. But before I had Lucky, all the time I would find an empty case or even a live bullet. Occasionally that falls out somewhere, gets stuck under the floor mat or something. All the time.
Yep.
Yeah, gotta be careful with that stuff.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But I've never been to TJ, so I can see the border from the house, but I've never been across. And the only reason is I don't care about the wait at the border. My time is too valuable. I'd love to go over there for a good time, have some cheap beers and tacos and stuff. But I always the wait at the border.
No,
because
I'm
when
too impatient.
When I take people to the border when I Uber, it's sometimes if you go on the wrong day, it's backed up 3 exits on the freeway. It's crazy. I'm not up for that.
No, me neither. I'm too impatient for that. I rarely cross. Last time I went was maybe for a funeral a few years ago. We have property down there. I don't even bother to go check on the family house. I have no form of defending myself down there, and the violence is, it's part of the culture down there. So I don't risk it. For me, it's not worth it. I don't have a lot of stuff down there for me to like really care about. So I don't even bother crossing.
So, Juan, you don't currently carry, correct?
I can't.
Not currently.
No, because May is my probation's over.
Yeah. And then
So I can't even carry a pencil or anything that's sharp, like a little pocket screwdriver, or else I might.
Are you kidding about the pencil?
I can't carry anything sharp. I can't. Not even a pocket screwdriver.
But the pencil?
I'm just joking about the
Oh,
pencil.
okay, I was gonna say, wait, what?
But like no little pocket
No
screwdriver,
screwdriver,
anything sharp, like
No
a
way.
stab or anything. I can't till May.
What if you're an electrician?
I better just make sure it's in the trunk. I just can't carry it on my person.
Tattoo equipment doesn't count, huh?
Nah, there's nothing sharp in that.
Okay. So when you're ready, when your probation is over, this is your guy right here.
Yeah, definitely.
He'll hook you up with the CCW.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I'll get his information before I take off.
And
yeah,
then
for sure.
do me a favor, carry everywhere and all the time.
Yeah, that's the plan. Once we were talking earlier, I'm gonna hire a lawyer to take off the misdemeanor, just to have a clean record, everything, because get stuff expunged, and then work on the CCW and stuff like that.
I can feel it brewing inside me when I hear this stuff. It's I get so offended on behalf of other people when I hear about the kind of injustice.
Yeah.
They should have never stopped you because you didn't do anything.
Oh, I didn't do anything. I just looked the part.
I mean, you've matched the profile, sure.
Yeah.
But you're not supposed to be profiled.
Yeah, and I know, and the way I see it is, even if they would have pulled me over, they wouldn't find anything on me. They were just like, it would have been forgotten. But the fact that I had the gun on me, that I
Right.
forgot, that's the issue. That
No-
they got
no
something
reason-
on me.
No reason to stop you.
No reason at all.
No reason to pat you down. No reason to even talk
So
to you.
so that's
There
the
was
thing.
Nothing there.
That's the thing with cops now, with especially if you have a cut on, and this has happened to me maybe 4 times before I got arrested. They do not ask for anything. The last time I got stopped before the gun incident, they pulled us over and they don't even they didn't give me a chance to get off the bike. They
No.
run up on me, they grab me, and they pat you down immediately. They don't give you a chance to. I couldn't even get off the bike the last time they stopped me.
When you say you have a cut on, I don't know the terminology. Is that
Oh,
your
like
vest?
like a vest.
Your
yeah.
with member patches
Yeah,
and stuff?
member patches and everything. They don't give me a chance to, like me and at the time when I was at the club, me and a brother were going on the freeway, and we were being followed.
By police?
Yeah, by sheriffs.
Huh.
So we went to we were supposed to go to another bigger club. That's a diamond club. Like the 1%ers, like the Hell's Angels, stuff like that. It was a diamond club, and we were there just to support them. I guess one of the members had fallen, and they were doing like a fundraiser, and we're gonna donate a couple money to pay this hospital. Like we do in the motorcycle community. Somebody hurting, somebody's needs anything, we do a fundraiser and we donate money.
All right.
They sell food, whatever. We go there and eat and spend money for them, and they donate it to the to the cause. So one of their members had fallen on the train tracks on a motorcycle. We were gonna go there, donate like $300, and just have a good time, hang out. Well, something had happened. They canceled and they moved. They went to LA, and then we stopped at National City at Stoney's, and they weren't there. So we took off, and as we took off, we went to a restaurant called El Camarón in Chula Vista, and they were there, and we stayed there for about like an hour, maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours max, and we left, and sheriffs were right there. And as soon as I jumped to the 94 to go back to Spring Valley, that's when I got pulled over.
Do you think they were there because they knew about the event?
Yeah, because that's a known
Yeah.
group bar right there. A certain type of group hangs over there, and they know that, so they were trying to see. And then the first thing they asked us was, "Are you guys beefing with anybody?" I said, "What are you talking about?"
You know what? It's not just what gets me so mad about that stuff is it's not just unfair against you guys being profiled. You know, they sit there and wait for you guys and wait for somebody to give them a reason to pull you over
Yeah.
so they can try and find something else on you then.
Yeah, that's the whole reason.
But it's also unfair against everybody else because that takes resources away that could be patrolling elsewhere where there really is stuff going on.
Right.
You know, instead they try to find something on you guys because they think maybe you have an outstanding warrant or something. It's an easy arrest to make to check off on their tally sheet.
That's what it is, and I'm sure they do it for future promotion and stuff, saying, "Oh, I got the most arrests,"
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
And I know it's for their benefit. It has nothing to do by law. It's for their benefit, for it to to gain something out of it.
Just for the record here, we're not trying to bash the police in general. Law enforcement mostly does good work, but when that happens, I get mad about that sort of stuff. And I wish when somebody gets treated like that and there is a clear and obvious civil rights violation, that they wouldn't just go after the department to, get a settlement or whatever, because that's taxpayer funds.
Right.
I wish they would go after the police officers' private assets.
And that's what I wanted
And that
to do.
would put an end to that sort of stuff.
Yeah, that's what I
'Cause
wanted to do.
They know it's not their money that they have to pay out; it's the department.
It don't matter to them, but
Right.
once it goes out of their pocket, that's when it matters. Then they're gonna start
Yeah.
thinking twice. Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
and I wish they would change that and make it so that you go after the officers' private assets.
Yeah.
Their car, their house, their pension. Then they would think twice about doing something like that,
I just think like, and I have a lot of conversation with my friends. As a tattoo artist and as the lifestyle I grew up in, not a lot of them law abiding. I'm not gonna lie about that.
and you know what you did. You went out the house with a gun you weren't supposed to have. But
Right.
It was an honest mistake.
Yeah.
Sure, you got caught, but the way you were caught was not right.
Right. Yeah, they just decided, let's see what this guy got, and they went. Even though I wasn't on my bike and I had walked away, they still took the keys out of my pocket and they went through my bike, and they didn't even lock it. They just left it open. That's the reason why I had to get back to me before anybody took it.
Yeah, and then they took your helmet, right?
They kept my helmet.
So when you got out, they didn't give you the helmet back.
So when they gave me a list of all the stuff at the time, they took away 2 phones from me, a helmet, my vest, and the gun. Right, I knew I wasn't gonna get the gun back.
Well, yeah.
And I most likely I was like, okay, I could get the phones back and my helmet and everything else. Okay, the guns for sure is lost. It took them 4 months to get everything back. And they said they disposed of the helmet, which I think is BS, because I think my helmet had a bunch of stickers, club stickers. And I know they took it as evidence to show like what kind of stickers they post to
Right,
show
yeah.
affiliation and stuff like that. I know that was an expensive helmet. It's not like a $20 helmet. Talking about $500, $600 helmet per helmet every time, and I got 4 of them. But
Yeah. And then they were waiting for you out there when you got your bike back, thinking you might start
they were
riding without the
circling
helmet,
it.
right?
Yeah, they were circling. The
'cause they
same
knew.
cops, the same one that arrested me,
Yeah.
is the same one that got my brother.
Outrageous.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, it's dirty. And
I
and
want to
like,
shake somebody, really.
And that's the thing I tell my friends. I'm like, man, everybody's worried about all these other gangs. You got to worry about the cop. They're the biggest gang because they operate with no impunity, man. They can do whatever they want and they back each other up and
Yeah.
they cover for each other.
I mean,
and
who
there's
pulls
nothing we
over
can
a
do.
cop, right?
Yeah, we can't do anything about it because they'll cover for each other. That's the worst part about it.
Just for the record here, we're not trying to rally against the police.
But
I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
That's
And
kind of like their
we're-
tactics.
We're generalizing here, but
exactly.
we all know
I'm
it's
sure
not
that there's
everybody.
good police officers out there, but it just takes a couple bad ones to just put a stain on everybody else.
Right.
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how it is with everybody, any group. There's good dudes out there, there's bad people, but if you're a part of a certain group and you do one bad thing, you automatically stains everybody else.
You got any experience like that?
No.
No. Good.
No.
Yeah. When you get your CCW eventually, you're going to get a gun? I don't know if you can say this on the radio right now. Do you have or on the podcast?
No.
Are you currently a prohibited person?
Yeah, right now because of my probation and everything,
Okay.
I had to get rid of everything.
Okay.
So what I did, I took them to the pawn shop and pawned them.
Okay.
Yeah, and then
Don't incriminate yourself.
no the paperwork I had to go show proof that I did that. And
okay.
And I took it to the judge, and the judge signed off, and I said, okay, that's good, because it was a department DOJ signed everything and the paper, because that's what the pawn shop gave me.
Yeah.
And they wrote down all the serial numbers and the thing. I just said, here, look, I don't have anything anymore.
So let's go back a little bit to you being not an immigrant, but coming from an immigration background, both of you. So what is there anything that you're actively doing to get some family members or people from your community to encourage them to carry, to be a gun owner, to participate?
Yeah, you want to go first or?
So when it comes to like introducing people to the gun industry, stuff like that, I usually just, when they ask, they'll notice, or if I'm printing on accident, they'll ask like, well, what's up with guns? I've always been curious about it. Like, all right, cool. Let's go to the range. You know, I use my membership at Poway all the time, and I bring random people with me, people that I, gain confidence with and can trust them around a firearm. Like, all right, let's go to Poway. Let's go shoot. I'll bring the ammo. Just show up. That's all you got to do. Just show up. And that's the intro into like firearm ownership. 9 times out of 10, after that one introduction, it's, all right, so what do I need to do again to buy one?
It's a done deal.
Yeah, and then I'll give them the FSC test because I'm a DOJ instructor.
Yeah,
I'm
me
like,
too.
all right, this is what we got to do. You study this. We'll knock this out. We'll issue your FSC card, and I'll go with you to whatever gun store you want, and I'll help you select the right one. Or when we go to Poway, it's pick which one you think looks, cool or comfortable or fits in your hand, and we'll test fire it. And if you like it, then you know what to look for when you go to the gun store. And then after that, it just kind of goes, and next thing you know, they're applying for their CCW. They're prepared at home for in case anything were to happen, like a home invasion or, carrying legally now. So,
All right. Good for you.
yeah, just
That's, I mean, me, I'm active in the gun community. I go to GRPC every year, not every year, for the last 2 years I've gone. I plan on going this year. And I went to a town hall NRA meeting, met the new CEO there, Doug Hamlin. I'm with San Diego County Gun Owners. They do events every month. But the type of people I see there, I can count on one hand how many people. I mean, I don't look like an immigrant.
yeah,
But as soon as I start talking, you can figure it out. But a lot of people there, they don't look like immigrants. And it's difficult to say in America even, because it is a country of immigrants. You could be here for 5 generations and still look like an immigrant. There's no such thing as the typical American, I guess, right? But it's a pretty homogenous crowd, a bunch of old white men. You can count on one hand how many women show up or how many people of color show up. And that's why we're here today, to bring people out, to encourage people.
Yeah.
Look at these 2 guys, Anthony and Juan. They look like anybody else from your neighborhood, but in America you never know who carries, who doesn't carry.
yeah,
But be open about it. Don't open carry, but be open about the fact that you carry, that you're a gun owner, and encourage other people who don't even know where to start because they're immigrants, they're first generation, they didn't grow up with this at home. You have the right to do so. If you want to do so, do it. If you need to learn how to do it, where to start, contact us on Instagram, San Diego Firearms School. Email sandiego.firearmsschool@gmail.com, or you can call me 619-601-8909. Had to think about my own phone number there for a second. If anybody needs a consultation on how to get a CCW or where to start, we'll do that all for free. There's no charge for consultations. If anybody needs to or wants to get involved in the gun community, we do that all for free. Closing remarks? Anything you want anybody to know? You can promote your businesses.
No, just if you guys get into any legal trouble, just what I learned is it was no point in getting upset and getting angry over nothing. It was just like just got to go through the motions, just do what you're asked of by the court. And I was asked a lot from the courts. Like I had to get out of California. There was in a clause like you got to get out, and I was like, all right. A lot of circles and loops, and they make you jump through because they know they got you by the balls. So you have to do whatever they say that you have to do.
Tell us about your tattoo business.
Right now, I'm at both. I'm at Bird Tattoo in Lakeside, and I'm at Miquelon in Yuma. Just do just black and gray, Chicano style, gangster style tattoos.
All right. If I want a Glock on my thigh,
I could tattoo a Glock.
how much is like life size Glock on my thigh? How much would that be?
So we're good friends. So I'll probably give you a deal.
On the inside of your thigh or on the outside of your thigh?
If it's inside your thigh, it'd probably be double.
I don't know. Maybe I'll move it down to the calf.
It's been good though. Business has been good. It's picking back up because of tax season and stuff like that.
Okay.
Usually we get slow seasons during like the end of the year when everybody's saving for their kids,
Yeah.
presents stuff. But it's picking back up, which is good.
I don't call it my tax return. I call it gun money.
Yeah,
Other
yeah.
people call it tattoo money.
Some got tattoo money. Some people got it ammo money. Some people call it motorcycle parts money. Whatever.
Yeah, whatever that,
Whatever
that is
the
for.
needs
It's,
were,
it's,
yeah.
it's never for the 401k though.
Nah.
How about you, Anthony? What's your business?
So I'm the owner of ARB Security and Firearms Training. I primarily just do security classes, introduction, get them into the industry, and then their open carry permits and baton. I also teach de-escalation classes for bigger companies where officers are kind of more working in high stress, high pace environments. They need more help with de-escalation, talking people down. And then, of course, I do the CCW stuff, and I work in tandem with a couple other instructors that are kind of more DOD style, so they do room clearing and stuff like that. I have a little side project going on right now in El Cajon with an airsoft company that is going to allow me to use their new facility that they're building up at the old Walmart. So it's a 2-story, and I'll be able to actually do and host CCW classes in my office, get everybody certified, and then take them there for scenario training.
Okay.
So
like
I
a
know
shooting
that,
house.
Yeah, like a shoot house. Not a lot of people offer scenario training. Some do. It's usually like the virtual reality stuff, like they teach out in Oceanside.
Yeah, Sure
But-
Shot.
Yeah, Sure Shot. And like, it's great. I love it. That thing's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I've been there.
But to be walking down a hallway or clearing a room inside and actually having somebody run at you and get hands on you is a little bit different.
We
the
used to do
adrenaline
that.
spikes.
We airsoft too.
Yeah, it's great training.
Yeah, it's great training because everything's identical. Like whatever fits on my airsoft will translate, or you could shift it over to the actual rifle.
Yeah.
And it's good training. We did that a couple times, and it was actually really fun.
Gets your heart rate up, huh?
Yeah, it teaches you to learn from your mistakes. Like you get
big
shot,
time.
and then you know what you did, so you just get back up and not do it again.
Yeah.
So yeah, airsoft training is really good, especially it's identical controls and everything.
Yeah.
Nice.
So it's really good muscle memory for that.
Good
Big
stuff.
time muscle memory.
Yeah.
So I got that project going on right now. Another one is we're a good closing remark, especially for what's going on in the world today. We just had, COVID happen. We had a bunch of civil unrest. And usually what I tell people when they're considering getting their CCW is that it doesn't matter if you're black, brown, white. None of that matters because rounds do not discriminate. They simply don't. If a criminal is going to, take advantage of you, either break into your home, harm you, your family, or in your vehicle, it doesn't matter. They're going to do it, but it's up to you to be your own first responder. The police are not seconds away from your home. They're minutes away. Why wait? Why give that opportunity for a criminal to victimize you? So defend yourself. Get your CCW. Purchase a firearm to defend yourself inside your home.
Yeah.
Worry about the legality stuff later. What's going to matter is that you have your life, and the dude that went in there to try to victimize you ain't going to victimize somebody else. You ended the threat for other people in the future as well. So, get armed, get your training, get your CCW, do whatever it takes.
Preaching to the choir, my friend.
You got to be prepared because you never know.
How do people find you?
They can find me with just Google ARB Security and Firearms Training. My business number is 619-627-1556. And, I can even do some consultation too for inside the home, stuff like that. If you purchase a new firearm, don't know how to disassemble it, this is something I added to my CCW curriculum because I noticed that we started getting people coming in and telling me, hey, it's my first firearm. And I don't know how to take it apart or clean it. Like, okay, now this is what we're going to do. We're going to spend an hour and a half disassembling, reassembling your firearm. So if it's a comfort thing or just trying to, figure out how to use what you already purchased, by all means, just reach out. We'll guide you in the right direction.
Great stuff. All right. So one last thing, if you have an immigration background, you are a first-generation immigrant or a straight-up immigrant from anywhere in the world other than the United States of America, and you think you have an interesting story that you want to share with us about how and where and why you became a gun owner, or you have an interesting experience with a gun use or an encounter with the gun community in general, whatever it is, if you're a subject matter expert, an attorney, a sheriff, an author, a researcher, whatever it is, hit us up. I'd love to talk to you. Instagram, San Diego Firearms School, email sandiego.firearmsschool@gmail.com, or you can text me or call me, 619-601-8909. And with that, I will say goodbye for now, and I'll hit you up again with the next episode where we are going to talk about immigration status, what that means for your right to carry, if you are prohibited or not, and we'll explore a little bit the legalities of how and where and why you are allowed to carry. And with that, that's it from us for this time.
Bye.